So students, as we were discussing the various stages of the content marketing plan, let us continue with the sixth stage or step in the content marketing plan, that deals with amplification. Now, when the content is there with you, it has been developed and it has been also distributed with the audience. Now it is important for a business to make it viral. So when the content reaches the influencers in the audience group, they make sure that it goes viral. Now, building and nurturing a relationship therefore with your influencers would really come handy and beneficial for the business at this stage. To amplify and give boost and momentum to the content which has been created, you have to engage and you have to constantly make your influencers happy. You can also follow how well the content is gaining momentum and is being amplified by engaging in meaningful conversations, not only with your influencers but also with your consumers directly. The seventh step of the content marketing plan deals with evaluation. Now, everything said and done, there is no way in which a business can gauge as to how well the content is really doing in terms of meeting the objectives for the enterprise unless and until it is being evaluated at regular periods of time. So, it is very important for an organization to evaluate whether the content is working well or not in terms of succeeding in accomplishing the broader goals. How will you go for this evaluation? Obviously, there has to be some measurement criterion. So, the key metrics have to be identified, and these key metrics obviously will keep on changing with the format of the content and the channels through which the content is being delivered or distributed. So, to have a broader view of all the channels and all kinds of content that we have created, we can divide the tracking of the content performance across the consumer path, like visibility of the content. Now, obviously, when the content is visible and you know that visibility of the content becomes one of the metrics, it is very closely aligned to whether or not people are being now aware, they are being made aware of the brand's presence. So, visibility on one hand as a metric is going to be connected with consumer awareness in the consumer journey. The second can be relatability, how much the content appeals to the consumer or they can relate to that particular content. We were talking about that resonance, to what extent it resonates, it clicks or is relatable in the sense that it is the right content which is tapping the consumer's persona, the consumer's desires, their pain points, and therefore the content seems to be appealing to the consumer. Or searchability, to what extent people are really searching for that content, how many searches you derived, the number of searches on that particular content, or using certain keywords, how many times the right content was searched and it was being presented. Again, how many times in the consumer path, in the consumer journey, consumers are going to ask for that information or they are searching for that particular information. Another matrix could be action. Is it prompting action? Is it resulting into some actionable behavior at the end of the consumers? Are they, they are appreciating it, they are posting it, they are advocating it, are they sharing it, they are acting on the basis of that particular content, buying it or recommending it. So, what kind of action and what kind of sharing that particular content is initiating can also be one of the performance metrics. As a last step, there is an improvement stage. Now, one cannot assume that all the content that the business has created so far will always work best, and this is the probably the best content that you have created. There is always a scope of improving the content. So because the content is dynamic, you need a periodic revision, a periodic improvement becomes necessary, and one has to identify the ways and the opportunities in which this improvement can be embedded. You can always work and search for new content themes, new formats, new designs, new styles. You can also search as a business for new channels in which the content can be distributed or amplified. Maybe it is working fine. The content that you have created requires no improvement, but only some time. So, students, you also need to understand that at times businesses should give time to the content to create its impact, to have its impact. So, there should be some persistency in the approach, some consistent approach has to be devised in the implementation of content marketing. So, let the consumers absorb that information and then the content will show its impact. So, maybe no change and no improvement is required. It is only that people would need some time to absorb the content and then react on the basis of that particular content or act on the basis of that content. So, this review has to be taken up on a continuous basis, and a continuous monitoring and tracking to see how the contact is impacting and is influencing your conversion rates has to be monitored regularly. Typical parameters we have seen can be well aligned to your click rates, your views, the number of downloads, interactions or the conversations or the sharings that are happening, how many followers you have generated, how many people have newly registered to your website or platform, how many of them have retweeted it, or how many shares your content has received will all show you that the campaign is working or the campaign is not working. Now, suppose you feel that the campaign is not working and it is not giving you the desired results, or maybe it is not working as optimally as you expected it to work. The firms can always first of all make use of certain optimization tools. It is not always necessary that you panic and you create all the new content and then revise the cycle. The content is there, but you think that it can still be upscaled. It is not giving you an optimal performance, and therefore the companies or the businesses can use certain optimizing tools and techniques like your search engine optimization. You can go for your A/B testing, you can go for recommendation engines, you can go for a retargeting of your audience, or maybe regrouping of your audience base to understand what are the possible issues and how then some improvisation or some sort of a modification probably would be required in your entire content marketing plan. Finally, one has to devise certain learnings and should see where it has worked and what were the fail points, so that in future the content can be created keeping in mind those insights and keeping in mind those fail points that would give you learnings to improvise your content and make it more successful and workable in future. With this, students, we have covered the portion on content marketing, and something which was very, very important for us to understand when we talk about certain popular tools as a part of digital marketing. One such tool we are going to talk about now, which is email marketing. Now, obviously, email also has to be created, and it is the content or the copy which is going to make all the difference, in addition to the other aspects which we are going to talk about in this session. Now, when you talk about email marketing, what exactly is this? The use of email in the overall digital marketing efforts is being made increasingly. This is a very popular and very simple way for any firm in the digital space to promote its products and services. Also, you write certain emails to incentivize the loyal consumers. How you understand email? It is only that activity which you use in your overall marketing efforts that make your customers aware of your new products, new services, certain schemes, certain promotional offers, and the overall presence of the business. We can in a way say that email acts as a softer sell. You are not only educating the consumers and letting them know about the products and the services, but also about the value of the brand. You are keeping the conversation going. You are maintaining a contact with your consumers and actually keeping them engaged between the purchases by communicating to them with the help of email. In a simplest manner, we can understand that the email is sent to the consumers who usually, are expected to respond to your emails because they are, on your consumer list. The email acts as a sales pitch and presents a call to action. So it is simply put, we can say that this is a way in which you encourage the consumers to click on the web link, which you can also embed in an email and respond to your email by acting. So it's nothing but a softer way to pull the consumers and call to action that you can present to the consumers in the effective manner. Now, what can be the possible advantages when you work through email marketing? One, as I said, this is a call to action. So there is always an action which is embedded. You want a person to respond to your email or do something when the content is presented in the form of an email. There is a traffic that you draw. It helps you to segment the consumers, those who respond, those who open the email, those who react to your email, and there is a certain message that your email can provide to them. So when we say we are benefiting from an email as a business, we want to establish the fact that an email is actually forcing the user to act, right? So it is going to be there in your inbox unless and until you have read that, you have deleted that mail, you have archived that mail. So it always shows. So as a bold number, it is always there for you to do something with that particular email which has not been read up till now or which has not been opened up till now. So the emails can help a business in developing a relationship, building a relationship with the audience base, because it is driving the traffic to your website, to your media, to anywhere else where you want through the email. Businesses can even segment your emails or the target users according to demographics, according to geography, according to an understanding of whom I should send my mails to and who is likely to see them or open them the most. It also allows your businesses to identify that this is what is working as a content best, and therefore you can use your email marketing software and you can very easily configure as to who are the people to whom you can send out the mails very easily, because they are the ones who are going to act on the basis of that. But not all is just going to benefit the organization. Emails also have their own set of limitations. Emails, are the ones that usually go to your spam folder. So a business is going to think that it is doing well and it is maintaining its contact with the consumers, but the consumer has has not even read it because it has automatically gone to his or her spam folder. The size of what you can present, what you can embed as a video, or the size of the video, size of the picture, or size of the text, or the size of the content attachment that you want in your email, that is also a limiting factor. The way it engages, not only the spam which is going to create worthless information and content and email, not only the size of and the problem of dealing with something too big or too bulky, which is going to take a lot of time to load. There is always a problem of continuously finding ways to engage. The methodology remains the same, which is email, but how many times you can try and experiment with something like an email which is going to be engaging enough for the consumers to respond and act. And if you do not make it engaging, then there is a very high chance that in the next phase, in the next cycle, the consumers will not open your email, or they will they will unsubscribe from your overall platform. So there are so many mails that I'm sure you all get in your inbox, and some of them you mark as spam, some of them you unsubscribe for because you do not find them engaging enough, or you do not find the content to be interesting enough. Also, this is something which is very simple. Shooting a email is always very simple. So because of the popularity of the tool, and because of the ease with which you can send the email, your competing firms also practices as much as you do. So one firm's email is not the only thing which is reaching the inbox of the customers. There can be multiple mails, and therefore the user's inbox would be flooded with so many mails, and therefore you have to ensure that your business mail stands out from the competitors, and for that the firms need to invest in, say, copywriters. You have to give something to the copywriters and bring best copywriters on board. You may have to offer additional promotions to capture the audience attention and make them open your email with a very catchy subject line. So some aspects of this we will also discuss in the later stages of the session. When you talk about emails, it is not only one type of email which businesses can work with. You can have a whole pool of emails that you can use to connect with your consumers, and you can make use of so many types of emails to connect with your consumers. Sometimes you use welcome mails just in order to tell them that yes, we are there and we are offering a new scheme for you. We have come up with a new trial or a bonus which is going to encourage. So when the person is new, when a consumer is new to the organization, you can also send something in your email like appreciating or welcoming that particular consumer on board with the brand, that he would now be starting his journey with that particular brand. There can be a welcome toolkit that you can embed in your email. Some sort of a welcome message from your side would always be appreciated. So some sort of emails welcoming that particular consumer who is new, relatively new to that organization can be used. You can use a newsletter to highlight your products and the entire product line and the combos that you offer to them. You can use the emails which can be of lead nurturing nature. That is the ones that actually push the users from only the consideration stage to the purchasing stage. So suppose there was a opening mail, and then after a few days you have a lead nurturing mail just inquiring whether or not the consumer has made up his mind, whether what would be the convenient time to reconnect, or whether the consumer would like to have a word with your sales representatives, could be some of the ways in which you can send the emails which would be more of lead nurturing type. You can have mails that invite the consumer. So these are more like the invitation mails which announce certain events, upcoming events or webinars or certain product launches, and therefore you know or certain exhibitions that you would be holding, and therefore you invite your consumer base, some people from your consumer base to attend those events and then see for them their own self as to how the products and how the various things would be showcased. There could be dedicated emails which, of course, as is being suggested by the name, you choose a dedicated group, some select people from your email list based on those who have just recently bought something, or the clients who are usually inactive and now you really want to focus your attention to those inactive clients and convert them from some inactivity to some activity, or you have roped in the new members and therefore for the time being you want just to focus your time and efforts on these members because they are relatively newer to the organization and the brand. So, these are the dedicated mails to just one subset of your entire list. Confirmation mails can also be used by the businesses, especially for those who signed up recently. So, you confirm that yes, your confirmation or your order stands confirmed, or your registration or your subscription stands confirmed, right. So, you buy something for the very first time, and also as a part of the security measure, confirmation mails can be sent to the consumers to see whether or not they are the ones who have indeed placed an order and they have interacted with the brand. There can be survey mails. Now, we recently, just now few minutes back, we talked about evaluation. How would you evaluate the content, whether the email content or the email is working fine, or whether the consumer is really feeling engaged with the brand? You may have to change your content. How will anybody do that? How will the business decide or know that there is a need for them to change the content? That is through the feedback. How will you know? So, the feedback from the consumers, the communications from the consumers will let you know that yes, there is a change. So, if they do not feel satisfied, they are going to say that in their feedback, and that feedback should be taken positively and should be taken up as an opportunity that the firm can use in order to improve the content and improve the email, maybe also the product. Seasonal mails, obviously there are businesses that have the products which are of seasonal nature, or sometimes you want to reap the benefits of a particular season which is upcoming, like there is a celebration, there is a festival season, there is a holiday season. You know that people are going to go on a summer vacation because this is a holiday season, and therefore you want to write a mail to them telling them about the new offers, telling them about the new places, telling them about the new occasions, or some information which will be very, very useful to them during this period when everybody is shopping or is likely to shop or is likely to go on a holiday, and so forth. There can be promotional mails where the purpose is only to entice the consumers and let them know about a promotional offer. So, you want to provide a certain incentive, you want to make them feel excited. These kind of mails are usually generic. They are very common mails which go out to a wide base of audience, larger audience base, because you will be designing the promotions for all of them, a standard promotions for all of them, and you would be making them aware of the new schemes, and maybe these kind of mails would act as a teaser for the goods and services which are offered by the brands. Now, we think that just writing the emails and receiving those emails is a very mundane and a very simple activity, but it is anything but simple, especially when the businesses want to use email marketing as one of the tools to connect digitally with their audience base. There is a whole process, some steps which are involved, which are going to be useful for any business when it enters the digital marketing space. So, let us look at the email marketing process, And if a business follows this process well, one can be sure that your email marketing is going to work with as much effectiveness as you want it to work and give you the desired results. Now, the first stage in the email marketing process is data. From where are you going to get the data? What is the data here? Data in email marketing is the subscriber list. People having email contacts. Can you really write emails without having an email contact or an email ID? So, if you want to exercise email marketing, the first thing is that you have to create a data set. That is, you have to prepare a list of email IDs, email contacts of all those people who are transacting or are likely to transact with your brand, with your company, that is the potential consumers or subscribers. Now, this data can be collected in various ways, both offline and online. You go to an event, you take the details, you prepare the list and you ask as one of the column for the email ID of the person. Just like you take attendance, so you have the roll calls with you, you have the number, you have the names, you have all the details. You can also connect with the consumers directly. So, on various consumer touch points, you can ask for this particular data and you can ask for this information and create a database. You can have website forms. So, when somebody visits your website, you can also ask that person to fill in a form. Usually, you must have noticed, students, when you contact somebody, when you try to seek some information from any business or any online entity, there is sometimes a form which pops up, where the basic information from the user is sought, and that helps you to create that database of that information. So, that is a kind of a website form. So, you fill your information in that form and that helps the businesses in creating the database. You can also use social media. There is so much of information which is available on the social media. After preparing this list, that is after getting the data in terms of the email IDs and email addresses of the subscribers or the users or the potential consumers, you are going to filter that data. You are going to mine. Data mining is done so that you can extract useful information from that data. Now, the data in the raw form or data in the form of just having list of endless email IDs is not going to help the business in any way. You have to extract relevant information from this huge data set, right, so that you can read and you can build up on that information which you get. So, what we are trying to do, we are going to create segments in this data, and then we are going to decide which particular group of subscribers or which group of email IDs I have to focus on. So, you have to then do the segmentation and targeting of this data set, of this subscriber or user data. Now, how this is going to be done? Obviously, you can do it on the same basis as you do any segmentation in marketing. You can use features like demographics. You can use information on various demographic elements like gender, education, age, culture, income, and you can then target your email at a particular audience base. Say for example, teenagers. So, now you are going to only have filter the data according to the age and then only target those audience group of a particular age. You are going to send emails only to a specific age group of audience that you have in your database and look only at those email IDs and not at the older recipients. You can also make use of geography, that is what is the location of the subscribers. There is no point in having those target users on your email list who are not likely to respond because they are situated at a different place from where your business is located. So, if I am located here, there is no point in sending an email to a person who is based abroad, because the likelihood of his or her responding to my email is very weak because my business is not located at that place. It can be history, like who all have been my regular customers in the past, how much they are likely to buy next, and certain other parameters which will help you in segmenting the data properly. With this, students, we come to an end of the session, and in the subsequent session we will talk more about email marketing. Thank you so much.